Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sarah from Crow Medicine Healing. I have another pick a card reading for you here today. And this one is about what in your life needs healing. So obviously there's kind of a side to us that most of us typically avoid because it's uncomfortable, which is completely natural. But unfortunately, sometimes things happen in our life that kind of become a reoccurrence because we are not healing some of the things that really need to be kind of dealt with. So here is a reading about what kind of needs to be healed. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Sorry, my dog's barking. Okay, so we have piles 1, 2, and 3. And so go ahead and take some deep breaths and kind of really tune in on which pile you're guided to. Okay, pause the video if you need to. So we'll go ahead and get started. So with pile 1, we have the King of Wands, Goddess of the Moon, Faith, all tied up, Judgment, Queen of Swords, King of Cups, Prince of Wands, and Six of Swords. So with the King of Wands here, there's a lot of fire, there's a lot of passion, kind of like ever-changing, you know, as the seasons pass, kind of so does the King of Wands. Kind of likes to keep it mixed up. The King of Wands is representative of Sagittarius. So there's a lot of maturity to the King, and you'll see here you actually have 3 higher court cards. You have 2 kings and a queen, so I can already tell right off the bat that if you've picked pile number 1, you definitely are very mature in a lot of different ways, in your energy, in your thoughts, in your intellect, and even your emotions. But at the same time, we have a Prince of Wands here, and this Prince of Wands, he's very driven, he's a fighter, but he's very fixed, because you know it's representative by Leo, so he's a very fixed sign, and doesn't really kind of like change too much. But he's very vibrant. He's actually kind of a tease, kind of a flirt. So with the King and the Prince together, I can definitely see how sometimes you have an imbalance of energy. Maybe even particularly your sexual energy. Like to go out and have fun, really kind of enjoy yourself, really love feeling good. It's kind of like, you know, like the older man refusing to kind of feel old, you know, always feeling like he's in his 20s, and maybe even a sex drive of a 20-year-old. So I can see how sometimes your sex drive can get a little imbalanced, which is not really too bad. It's not something that truly needs to be healed, just possibly observed. And, you know, just an observation, you know, changes things. Kind of helps, you know, bring a little bit more clarity to where you're putting your time and your energy and who you're putting your time and energy into. But another thing with the fire signs here, with the Wands cards, is you can tend to be a little impulsive. Again, you know, with sexual energy, perhaps you know, being too impulsive at times is something that you can be aware of, because it might help you kind of eliminate some toxic people that you might meet along your way in life. But for the most part, you know, you're pretty sociable, generous, very energetic, and you really kind of have the ability to really do your best and really put your foot forward. So with the energy imbalance, I can see how you see here with Faith and the Queen of Swords that sometimes your mind can kind of turn against you. Sometimes you have a little bit of a hard time having faith in things. It says faith grows when you act without knowing the end result. And you're a very intelligent person, and sometimes, you know, maybe you feel like you kind of have all the answers, or you can kind of negotiate or you know, kind of think your way through things and know what to expect. But at the same time, that positive intellect that you have can really turn against you, and you can have a hard time having faith. With the goddess of the moon, you know, with the moon here, the moon can represent the darkness and the emotions, and this is kind of something that I feel can be healed within you, is just the emotions that you have and the darkness that you can kind of fall into whenever you're not having faith in a situation. I also feel like sometimes you might have a hard time receiving or kind of releasing those fears and worries, or even going in. I mean, you're a very intelligent person. I see a lot of emotional intelligence here, especially, you know, because we have the King of Cups. He's the most mature out of the water signs. But at the same time, this can really kind of turn against you. And sometimes when you get a little bit of anxiety because of the things that are going on in your life, you might have a hard time releasing those fears and worries in order for your intellect to kind of kick back in. I also see, I hear planner. So it could be that whenever you're kind of getting fearful or anxious about a situation, you're a planner, you start planning, and it kind of detracts you from all this worry and anxiety that you have, which in a sense is good, because then you can kind of plan your way out of things. But the negative part about that is that you're not allowing your feelings to process. And that's something that's very important, is processing your feelings as they come. And when you process them, then you'll have more of a clarity and have an easier time balancing that clarity to move forward. I also see, you know, being all tied up here. I feel like sometimes these emotions and the things that go on in your life kind of keep you stuck in the same rut. You know, kind of a balance of control. You might have issues with trying to control everything, especially, you know, being a planner. You're wanting to kind of plan your way out of things instead of being able to just sit in your pain and process your feelings. But when you do that, you're ultimately kind of keeping yourself stuck. You know, this woman, she's bound, and she's not able to move forward. So definitely take some time out when things, you know, kind of go wrong, or when things happen. Really kind of sit in your darkness and really feel those emotions. And yes, it's going to be painful, but you have to have faith that things are going to work out. You have to let go of that control. I also feel like maybe a small number of you actually have problems with control, like controlling people to a detriment. I also think maybe some of you are having a hard time breaking free from habits or different patterns in your life. So that could be something that you're working on. Judgment here says, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. With this card, I feel some of you might wish that your life was different. But I'm a firm believer in choosing your path before you're born. Your soul choosing your path before you're born. And not to say that that's an excuse for a lot of the pain that you've gone through in life, because some people go through an enormous amount of pain, and you know, it's not about punishment at all. I don't believe that. I don't believe our karma is about punishment. I believe that there are certain things in life that we need to learn how to deal with, and when we're not learning how to deal with them, these soul lessons that we have, sometimes it can really put us in a bad situation. But for some of you, I feel like judging yourself, you know, feeling like you're not good enough, you know, kind of goes back into here being all tied up and not processing your feelings and emotions. I feel like maybe some of you have a problem judging others. If you look here with the Queen of Swords, one of the interpretations that I've kind of always had in some cases is, you know, the Queen's, she's very judgmental. She's kind of in everybody's business and kind of judging who somebody's dating, how they're raising their kids, who their friends are. Sometimes she could be a very cruel woman, the Queen of Swords. You know, it's just everybody has their own lessons in life. Everybody's soul has their own path, and you know, each one of us, you know, have something to learn. And sometimes it takes for somebody to go through a extreme hardship to really kind of learn certain things. You know, for example, being in a domestic violence situation. You know, I've been in a domestic violence situation before, and it's difficult. You know, and it's really an eye-opener, and you have to really kind of go within and not hold judgment within yourself, you know, because it's not your fault. But you also have to learn to stand up for yourself and have that self-love so that doesn't happen again. The King of Cups here. He's a very watery sign. He's very, very emotionally mature. But at the same time, you know, this man, this King of Cups, he can really take a sharp turn on his emotions, and it kind of goes with the intellect of the Queen as well. She can be very sharp and cutting with her words. You know, even though she's, you know, she's mutable, so I mean, she likes change. She likes to change with the seasons, but at the same time, you know, when her mind's made up about something, that's the way it is. And with the King of Cups here, I feel like with some of you, sometimes you kind of make harsh decisions or rash decisions when it comes to your emotions, because somebody did something that you didn't like, you know, which may or may not be bad, you know, or all that bad, you know. I think that's something else, is to kind of balance your emotions in a way to really kind of to use that strength of intellect, you know, emotional intelligence, to really kind of feel your way through a situation and figure out whether or not, you know, something might be abusive or somebody's just having a bad day, because, you know, everybody has a bad day, and sometimes, you know, they say things that they don't mean. But don't take it so personal. Really kind of have that emotional intelligence to decipher whether somebody is just having a bad day or if somebody's truly being emotionally abusive. So I think, you know, using that strength with your emotions is something that you could work on, that emotional intelligence. And I don't feel like it's all the time, or really even all of you guys that are watching this. Just maybe a small percentage. I also feel too that you might have some issues with balance. kind of mastering kind of these skills that you have. Like, you have so many good things going for you. You're very mature with your energy, with your intelligence, with your emotions. Yeah, you like to go out and have a little fun. And sometimes you kind of get stuck in a rut because you're not processing your emotions fully. You're trying to plan your way out of it. But I also feel sometimes you might have difficulties with endings. You know, kind of really kind of looking at something as in it, you know, being something that's building your character and building your strength. Letting your experiences master your abilities. Because I feel like, you know, some of these things, like these swords right here, could be representative of all the things that are thrown at you in life. All the tests there to make you stronger. But if you see, he's very still. He's on his tippy toes. He's learned to kind of master balance. And having to balance these everyday responsibilities in life. It's something that you're fully capable of. And I have confidence that a lot of you are already there. Of mastering the skill of just everyday life, of everyday responsibilities. But some of you still need to work on that. It's something that you're fully capable of, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to have faith in yourself. And don't allow yourself to be trapped and stuck in this rut. Because you're very mature. You're very capable. I see a lot of very, very desirable qualities in the people that have picked pile number 1. You're mature but fun-loving. You balance your energy well. Emotional intelligence. But yeah, I'd say just kind of work on processing your feelings and not try and cover it up with your intellect. Maybe work on budgeting, scheduling, kind of take a little bit of the chaos out of your life. And really have faith in your path and in the path of others. Yeah, I'd say that's it for pile number 1. So we'll go with pile number 2. We have the 3 of Pentacles, the World, Decisions, Archangel Michael, the 1st chakra, Change, Ace of Cups, 2 of Wands, and 7 of Cups. So, right off the bat, I see a relationship to teamwork, to your stability, to your work ethic, to recognizing opportunities. I feel like some of you might have some issues with goal setting or follow through, especially with the 2 of Wands here. About following through, being able to decide which path to take, not getting caught up in the emotional rut, the fantasies, the anxieties, the what ifs. feel like some of you, because of that, can kind of remain stuck, and you're not able to recognize your resources or expand your vision. And what you have to remember, though, is, you know, the world is your oyster. You know, I mean, these men, they're working very hard, and they're building a beautiful structure here with beautiful stained glass windows, with a little bit of planning, a little bit of teamwork, getting involved with your community, following through with your goals, and just kind of having an all-around good work ethic. You can accomplish anything. You know, decisions. Honor your top priorities. Let go of things that really aren't worth your time. Negative self-talk, that's not worth your time. If it's not an absolute yes, then it's a no. Don't let the anxiety, the what ifs, the fears, the fantasies that aren't becoming tangible within your life, don't let all of that distract you. If it's not an absolute yes, let it go. Because otherwise it's a no. The first chakra, Archangel Michael. I feel like this is about your sense of security. Some of you could have a lot of root chakra blockages. But you have to understand, you know, you have to own your power. You're capable of taking action, right? The Two of Wands here, deciding between two decisions, taking action on which path to go. The world is your oyster. Have a good work ethic. Work hard, plan, and you can achieve anything. You can achieve the stability you desire. I see some of you are afraid of change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And you know, you have a lot of action cards here. You know, you got your Two of Wands, about setting things in motion. Your Three of Pentacles, building your future. But you have to understand that when you build your future, change is going to happen. And sometimes you're not going to know what the outcome is, but that's going to be okay, because you're going to be taken care of. You're building your future to create your stability. What you build is what you manifest, and what you manifest is going to be the highest growth and evolution for you. So don't be afraid of change. If you don't like where you are right now, guess what? You're going to have to change something in order for the situation to change, for it to grow and to evolve, for you to find your sense of security and stability. You know, with decisions here, honor your top priorities. I feel like some of you give too much to people or to situations that really aren't worth your time. You're giving from your cup and not from your saucer, your overflow. Because you're not giving from your overflow, it's draining you. This guy, he's just like mad with just defeat there. He feels so overwhelmed. You're giving your time and energy to things that are not your true priorities. This is your priority, creating that stability in your life, building and manifesting your world, your future. Don't give your power away to other people. Don't allow people to control your emotions to knock you off balance. If they're not helping you build your future, then they're only helping you tear it down. You know, this guy, he's sitting in ruins. In decay. If these people are not helping you build your future, if they're not a team player in your vision, then they're draining you. Don't give them your time or your energy or your love, your compassion, your heart. Maybe even some of you are dealing with somebody who's making you feel afraid of change. Okay, sorry about that. So, yeah, if there's people in your life that are kind of just putting fantasies in your head and kind of keeping you back and making you feel like growing or evolving without them, or just in general is threatening to them, those are not people that need to be in your life. Because your life requires change right now, and you can't be afraid of that. Those people who aren't there with you throughout your change are only supposed to be there for a season. But yeah, find your team players in your life. They're the ones who are going to be there with you through thick and thin. They're going to be the ones to encourage you to grow and to change and to evolve. They might help you with your decision making, taking action on which path to take. But don't be afraid, because you have that power inside of you to create that vision that you have of the world that you want to be in, the world that you want to create for yourself. Okay, so that was pile number 2. So next is pile number 3. Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords, hostilities, gratitude, Archangel Metatron, 6th chakra, death, the Queen of Light, the Ice Queen, and the Camel Boy. So I feel like some of you guys are having problems with some clarity. Your mental clarity is something that kind of needs a little bit of healing. We have illumination here, and then we have the Ace of Swords, which is about clarity, a new beginning and clarity. But you're having some difficulties. You might be on guard of something in your life. You might be dealing with some toxic people in your life. Somebody that keeps you on the edge, a hostile party. I feel like though some of you need to learn that it's okay to ask for help. And sometimes it requires just small steps, and that's okay. You know, sometimes it takes small steps to get away from a bad situation. I'm learning that endings are merely new beginnings. You have to learn to let go of things not meant for you, of people not good for you. It's time for you to really look at the situation, really enlighten yourself about the situations in your life. And with this mental clarity, by learning to let go and to really observing your life and the people in it, the situations in it that are toxic for you, you'll know when to act and when not to act. You'll know when to execute your ideas that you have, or when to just preserve them for a time best served. You might also be having some issues with your faith, with your intuition, which again goes with the mental clarity. This person, for some of you, is purposely trying to confuse you, trying to keep you in a fight or flight mode, to always be on edge, always feel like something bad's about to happen. If this is a person in your life, that's something that you really kind of need to develop clarity on, to really be truthful with yourself about the situation. If these people aren't celebrating your beauty, your love, your innocence, then they're not healthy for you. And for some of you, it could be a hostile situation, maybe somebody at work that's hard to work with. And at that point, you just have to work on maybe some mental, emotional intelligence. Don't let them get to you. Don't let a work situation get to you. Don't bring your work home with you. Find the good things in your life. A good thing too sometimes is to start a gratitude list every day. Write down 3 things that you're grateful for. Your house, your kids, having electricity, having a car, having flowers in your garden, having a beautiful soul. Having some good soul sisters or soul brothers with you to support you. Whatever you're grateful for, start a gratitude list and list 3 things every day. And I feel like by taking yourself out of this hostile environment, this mindset that you have yourself stuck in because of the situations or people in your life, I really feel that that's going to kind of help you get a new perspective. Say thank you. Experience the joy of acknowledging others. Acknowledge the people in your life. Maybe your family needs you right now. It needs healing. Your tenderness and your care. Things that don't come so easily when you're always in fight or flight mode. When you're not having the mental clarity in your life because of whatever situation is going on. Okay. So that was pile number 3. Thank you for joining me today. I really hope that you liked your reading. If you enjoyed it, if you like what I'm doing here, please give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe, because I'm really excited about this year and how the channel is going to change and all the new videos that are coming out. All right, thank you. Have a great day.